On today's show, I'm bringing you a brand new company that came on our radar about 2 months ago. The name of the company is Trac Solutions, Inc. You can find them on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol PSYC. And with us today is the CEO, going to bring us up to speed, Mr. David Flores. David, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
You know, Dave, if you would, could you provide us maybe just an overview of Trac Solutions and explain the company's pivot here in 2020, especially going into the emerging medical psychedelic industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the better part of the last decade or so, Trac Solutions, formerly Global Payout Inc., was involved in the software as a service and fintech space, and most recently serving high-risk industries like the cannabis space. However, at the end of last year, the company really began a full reassessment of its long-term goals, objectives, and vision, really looking at things from a perspective of profitability as well as shareholder value. And in that reassessment, we really made the strategic and very mindful decision to pivot the company out of the fintech space into the emerging psychedelic space. Trac really has always been a company that has been deeply rooted in identifying underserved industries. This really seemed like a natural fit for us. And with the psychedelic space being an industry that I've been following for a couple of years now and really seeing the momentum that we're seeing gather around it right now, it really was a space that I was excited to sort of plug Trac into and understanding the potential growth opportunities that exist here. And so in that process, we applied for and we changed our ticker symbol from GOHE to PSYC, PSYC, to really demonstrate our commitment to emerging as a leader here within this space. We've also developed our two primary platforms, our Psychedelic Spotlight website, as well as our Microdose monthly newsletter, and really recognizing how important and how much of a need there is right now within this space to provide informational and educational resources and tools that are both reliable and reputable. And so that really is the space that we're looking to fill right now. And we really have reemerged as a digital media company in this process. But, I like to just tell people that we have far more ambitious goals and objectives for our future growth here in this space. And that, coming in as a digital media company really is just the starting point for us right now. But definitely excited to be part of a group of companies that are the first ones to enter in this space, and really excited for the outlook of the industry right now.
Trac Solutions is a diversified holding company dedicated to identifying new and emerging industries. That being said, you also have a new website. It's called psychedelicspotlight.com. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. And the objective with the website really is to develop it as a central hub, so to speak, for information, news, and educational tools and resources within the space of psychedelics, where right now we are starting to see the industry sort of materialize and come together. And you have a lot of people starting to pay attention to it right now. And so the need for fact-driven information and news really is more important than ever in order to continue the progress with the industry, especially given the fact that for the better part of the last several years, there's been a taboo or a stigma, if you will, tied to psychedelics. And by providing the correct information and the right news and educational resources, we hope to play our own role in helping to sort of remove that stigma. So a big part of this really is about us rolling up our sleeves, playing our role, and helping to keep the progress moving forward with the industry and helping it get to a point where we'll be able to plug ourselves into a variety of different opportunities in the future.
Yeah, for my listeners and myself, educate us, if you will, one, growth potential, what's the opportunities, and maybe tell us about your business agenda for Trac Solutions in this particular space.
Sure. So, right now what we're seeing is an industry that's really starting to take shape. And at the sort of the core, so to speak, of the industry really is the treatment side of things. And particularly recognizing the potential that psychedelic-assisted treatments and therapies have in being a far more effective treatment for some of our society's most pressing mental health conditions out there right now that millions of individuals are suffering from. So
I agree.
And so for the better part of the last several decades, we've been stuck in using pharma-based drugs and other treatments that are really only designed to manage these conditions, not necessarily treat them. And this is where psychedelics is sort of separates itself and the ability to potentially actually treat these conditions. And so with that, as with any other industry, you have other sectors beginning to branch out. So, I mean, you have research and development, and you have digital media, which is sort of the bucket that we're in right now. But more importantly, it's a network. It's a community that's starting to develop. And with us being really part of it from the beginning, it's giving us a very unique opportunity to sort of be at the forefront of the development of the industry, to collaborate and work with the leaders, advocates, philanthropists, and other investors that are in this space right now and really help shape it. And so that's really what our role and our goal is right now. And in that process, I strongly believe and I'm strongly confident in the fact that we will come face to face with opportunities that will present growth for us, that will possibly let us grow outside of just the digital media side of things. So that's where the importance of establishing our network really is, and understanding that, we're going to come face to face with some, I think, really intriguing opportunities as time goes on. But it's a process. But again, I'm encouraged and I'm motivated with the direction that we're moving in right now.
Guiding fundamentals and the principles of the company as it's committed to emerging as a prominent leader in the sector, psychedelics. Do you think that you guys will approach the mental health a little bit different than it has been approached?
Well, I think that's, psychedelics in general. I mean, it's a community right now that really is heavily guarded. And what I mean by that is, we're trying to protect sort of the actual principles associated with psychedelics. And in this process of it evolving as an industry, make sure that we're not jeopardizing safety protocols and safety factors in this process. But for us, as a company, particularly here, as a company that I like to think we're in a very unique position, being a publicly traded company here with a ticker symbol PSYC, we really are determined and committed to evolving and emerging as a leader here in this space. But for us, yes, we may have our own agenda as a company in terms of our growth initiatives. That agenda really does have to align in many ways with the bigger picture and the agenda of the industry itself. Otherwise, we're not moving in the same direction as it. And for me, that's really important. As a CEO of a company here in the psychedelic space, we are starting to see it come together. It is materializing, but there's still a lot of work left to be done here. And for us, again, this is, a big part of it is us being down in the trenches, rolling up our sleeves and contributing for the advocacy of psychedelics here as a treatment. So that really is our goal here. This isn't us just coming in trying to set up our own agenda. We're very much plugged in and tied into the agenda of the industry itself.
Are you guys going to be more of an educator or more of a product provider when you're going to monetize this thing?
I think in the beginning, right now, there's no question, being an informational news and educational resource is sort of our focus right now. There's no doubt about that. And we've been able to develop our own original content, which is getting quite, respected within the industry, I guess is the best way to put it right now. And so for us, that's very important. Aside from that, there are other opportunities that we are exploring to help monetize the business right now, because I understand how important that is and how critical that is, particularly from a shareholder value perspective. So we are looking. There are opportunities, particularly if you look at functional mushrooms, there's a lot going on in that space right now. So that is an area that I'm happy to share that we are at least exploring right now. Nothing is definitive in terms of what we're doing with it yet, but we are exploring that and looking at ways that we can potentially integrate some of that into what we're doing here with Psychedelic Spotlight.
David, before I let you go, what is it that you want my listeners and your stockholders to take away from your new endeavor here?
Well, I want them to take away the fact that we are committed to the industry. Obviously, this is an exciting space to be in. When you really start to dig deep into it and you understand the potential that exists here, it's exciting. But at the end of the day, we are committed. I know Global Trac has gone through some transition and some changes over the last couple of years, but this is the focus. This is a passion of mine. And so with that being sort of the guiding force behind all of this, I really am optimistic and I am motivated to really turn Global Trac into a recognized and trusted leader within this space right now.
My guest today has been David Flores. He is the CEO of Global Trac Solutions, Inc. You can find him on the OTC markets under the symbol PSYC. That's PSYC. David, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Hopefully you'll come back on in 50 or 60 days, give us an update of what's going on with your new adventure here.
Absolutely. I look forward to that.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by La Jolla Media LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are for educational and research purposes. Stock Day encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional.